But for right now, it looks like we can go ahead and get started. I think Jamie Stone is with us today. She's the person who is helping get this all off the ground. She works with Concourse. She's been with them for a while now, and she actually implemented the Concourse platform at her own institution before she actually started working at Concourse as an employee. Jamie, if you want to say a quick hello to everybody here. She's just basically going to be listening in today to make sure I don't say anything incorrect about how we're using it so far. Say a quick hello, Jamie.
Hello, everyone.
Hello. Hi,
So,
Jamie.
Hi.
Jamie's been working with me for the last few months now, trying to figure out how to make this pilot get off the ground and help us understand exactly how this tool can best serve our needs. The role that you all are playing in this pilot is really crucial in helping me see exactly how this is going to work. Concourse is used a little bit differently by all institutions. It's a platform that has lots of customization available, and you'll hear me say a lot of times this morning, this is going to look different down the road, or this is going to look different, once your actual course is up and running. So not every last detail is in place as of this morning, but I wanted to make sure that we all got on the phone at the same time. It's fantastic we were able to get all 5 of you together at once, so close to the start of the semester, and show you what you're going to be looking at when your syllabus is ready within Blackboard. So without further ado, just as a reminder to everyone, because I know that some of you have heard more about Concourse than others, this is a platform that we are exploring as a way to simplify our syllabus management system. As some of you know, I review approximately 100 syllabi per 8-week semester in an effort to help ensure consistency among our syllabi here at Cary. And some of you have been through long email threads with me about, can this person change the standard syllabus in this way or that? Some of you have had very quick emails back and forth with me that, an email goes, or a syllabus might go through the syllabus review process in a mere day. Other times it takes weeks. What we're trying to do is find a more efficient process for syllabus management, and you all are course leads, which is great for the purposes of this pilot, because within Concourse, there are different ways that we can set up permissions so that course leads would actually have the ability to create their standard syllabi within the platform and set it up so that you can determine what things you're comfortable with other faculty editing when it gets down to the section level, and what things you don't want people to be changing. Right now, that's all kind of handled via email, where I have to ask you, hey Ning, is it okay if so-and-so changes the assignment instructions in this way? I know most of you have received such emails from me. So what I'm going to do is kind of start at the end and then work backward. What I'm going to do is show you what this is going to look like when your syllabus is ready in Blackboard. Shan, we are currently using your Blackboard site as an example. Don't fear, actually this is Bonnie's, here we go. Don't fear, the syllabus I'm about to click to is not the final version of what you're going to see, but this is just for the purposes of showing everyone
It's okay.
how Concourse integrates with Blackboard. Because one of the great things about Concourse is that, at least for the students' purposes, it's a seamless integration. The student isn't going to be like, wow, where's this new website that I'm going to? So if I'm a student in Xian's course, I'm going to go to the syllabus tab as usual, and then click here on syllabus. Ordinarily, this would take you to a Word doc or a PDF.
Catherine, I don't know
yes.
if anyone else can see something other than.
Oh, is it not sharing?
I
No.
see a screen.
Oh.
It's just, it looks like.
All my files?
Documents.
Yeah.
It looks like I chose the wrong screen. So all of you can see all of my syllabi that are in progress right now.
Yeah.
My apologies.
All the
So to
secrets.
switch to my other screen, how would I do that?
Let me.
Should I stop sharing and then try again?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Sorry about that, everybody.
It's okay.
Not a.
At least you know how organized my folder is.
Wonderful.
Yeah, the danger of the two-screen setup. Okay, so she's going to share it back with me. Thank you for your patience. Basically, what I'm going to do is show what the final product is going to look like, and then I'll walk you through what is basically taking our existing syllabus process, which right now exists as a result of 3 different types of syllabi. What you all are used to seeing right now is everything in Word documents. Each year I create or update the existing Carry syllabus template, and that is the document we use whenever we go to create and update all the standard syllabi, which are, I guess we're up to having almost maybe 120 standard syllabi at this point for about 120 different courses, all in Word documents. And right now, as you know, the current system, am I a presenter again? Looks like I might be.
Yep, you should be able to do that.
Okay.
Are you showing anything? I don't see anything yet.
Are you seeing anything now?
It says waiting to view.
Waiting to view.
Yeah, it's trying to connect, I guess.
Oh, share my screen. Here we go. All right, now are you seeing anything?
Yes, I see something.
Oh, that's fantastic. Is he
oh, yeah. Blackboard
yes,
side. See the blackboard.
Perfect. Yay. Okay. We can move on.
Accounting, right?
Excuse me?
Is it accounting and financial reporting?
Yes, that's the one.
I'm sorry, I'm still not seeing anything.
Okay. Is it saying that it's trying to connect?
Yeah.
Okay.
You may want to refresh. I refreshed my screen with F5, and then it brought me to the correct screen.
Okay.
Great. One good thing about this is that we are recording today's meeting. So we'll get to experience all these hiccups over and over again, depending on how many times you want to refer back to this training. Can everyone see the screen yet?
I see it looks like not Concourse, but maybe Blackboard.
Yes, Blackboard, that's
okay,
correct.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So again, using accounting and financial reporting as our guinea pig for today, I want to just show you what this will look like when your syllabus is ready for you in your course sites. You will click here on the syllabus tab. And here is a draft version of the accounting and financial reporting syllabus. I call this draft because you'll see some things in here that say test, and random notes in here. So this is not a final version, not to worry. But just to show you what this looks like, you can see that this is a screen-wide document. This is something that just as with our existing syllabi, this is something that you can download and print as a PDF. I know I'm scrolling through this pretty quickly only because there's a lot in here that's not finalized and I don't want you to worry about that. But this is basically the current look of it. There are a number of things that I'm working with Jamie right now to customize to the needs of Carrie. So some of these headings, let me show you one. For example, the objectives. We're going to customize some of these headings so that it says things like learning objectives instead of simply objectives. And I see I already have one message from someone. And just a reminder
Charles.
To mute your mics if you can, bring a little bit of extra noise. Okay, so this is basically, here would be the required text and learning materials. Basically, I've taken from Xian's syllabus the information just as it is in her Word document and transferred it over, trying to maintain the formatting as much as possible while working within the limitations of this particular platform. So this is just to give you a basic idea of what the formatting looks like, which is that you're going to have these large headings with the big page breaks and then the information underneath. So let me go back now to the very beginning, as Maria von Trapp would say. So right now, what I'm going to start doing is doing a side-by-side comparison just to show how certain things are currently versus what we are looking to do within the context of Concourse. So on my left side of the screen is what would be the institutional template, or what I've been calling the Cary syllabus template. On your right is the existing Cary syllabus template. And this is what you're used to seeing. It's got all this black and red text. The red text is what we would be updating whenever we're creating a standard syllabus, etc. And it looks like we lost Stacy, who's not currently able to get back in. Hey, Charles, if you're listening in, could you email Stacy real quick and see if you can help troubleshoot helping her get back in? That would be great. Okay, so on the left, you can see that I've done some similar things that I've always done, where I put in brackets certain things that would be updated when we got down to the course level. For example, this is where the course title would go, this is where the course ID would go, etc. Some things are going to look very similar. On our left is the course policies as they appear within the Concourse version, if you will. On our right is how they currently appear within Word, and I've maintained this style of using red bracketed text to show which items would need to be updated down at either the section level or at the standard syllabus level. Okay, great. Thank you, Charles. And I know I have lots of tabs here. So this, as with the existing Cary syllabus template, what we're looking at right now on the left is what I would basically be the main editor of. What is great about Concourse, one of the reasons that we're most excited about the possibility of implementing it, is that if for any reason, let's say if we were going to go down to our school policies down here, this is the information that always appears at the very end of a syllabus. If I found out in the middle of a semester or the middle of a year or something that some crucial information regarding our code of conduct or our disability services or something either was inadvertently incorrect in the institutional template or there was a change and we need to update all the syllabi as soon as possible. In the past, this would require me sending an email to the faculty saying, hey everyone, please update the following paragraph as follows, or I would go into your syllabi for you and update them manually. That would be at least 120 standard syllabi to update manually. Not even the best macros can sometimes do what I need them to. What Concourse can do is that it sets up linkages between this, on my left, the institutional template. This is what I use then to create all the standard syllabi. This is a great way to ensure consistency so that when we do create the standard syllabi, we don't end up with that pretty common conversation I have with faculty of, have you used the most recent version of the standards of the institutional template or the Cary syllabus template? This is updated live. So whenever I make a change here, and just to show you what that looks like. Sorry, just lost control of my mouse. If I went in here and for some reason said, I'm going to delete this, the grades of D, D+, all of a sudden they are allowed. I would delete that in here. Now it's gone. And once I do that, because this would be linked to all the standard syllabi, that phrase would disappear from all the standard syllabi. I wouldn't have to go into all of them individually to make that edit. Does that make sense? I know this is very basic what I'm showing you right now, but just trying to illustrate some of the benefits of going through this or using this type of system. Mm-hmm. Okay, so now I will jump to what is really more of interest to you all, which is the standard syllabi. So if this is the Cary template for all courses, I'll move to what I created as the standard syllabus for Bonnie's statistical analysis course. So now, instead of all this bracketed blank information at the top, we now have her course title, the number. The instructor information is still blank because this is the standard syllabus, not the section level. We have her description, etc., and all this information that she uses in her standard syllabus. Then we get down to course policies, and as usual, there is still red bracketed text in the areas that would need to be edited at the section level. Okay? So to show a side-by-side comparison, this is basically the equivalent of, I have lots of things open. So here on my right is Bonnie's standard syllabus in Word. And on my left, this is the version in Concourse. So in some places, it's just going to be blank, so it's pretty obvious that things need to be entered. But this is basically what you would do if you were the course lead. So basically down the road when we get to, if we were to do full implementation of Concourse, this is where course leads would go in and edit their standard syllabi year to year. So instead of doing it in Word and trying to remember each year, which am I using the latest version, you would go into Edit. And for example, let's say you want to update your objectives. There's the editing tool like this. I know that I'm showing you a lot of information that frankly you won't need for the purposes of the pilot, but just to show you what this all looks like, just wanted to show you a few different windows. And again, what's great about this is that once you've updated them here, all the syllabi that are then, quote, cloned from this standard syllabus would have the correct information. Basically, what Concourse does is eliminate a lot of the human error that is possible with Word documents, where you have faculty who sometimes they remember to go to the website to download the latest version of a standard syllabus, or perhaps a course lead makes some updates, but they forget to tell me, or they forget to tell other faculty about a crucial update such as a textbook change or something like that, and at the last minute. Sorry, did someone have something to say? Okay.
Hi, Kathleen. This
Hi.
is Xian.
Yes.
I have a quick question. So here it seems that it's, the Concourse separates the what do you call institutional level messages and the course specific messages. So if we, as the lead faculty of particular syllabus, so now if we go make changes before it is published, will it go through a approval or a final screening process before it is effective?
Right. So this is where when we get to full implementation, and that's the phrase I'll use when I'm referring to if we adopt Concourse across Cary, we will have quite a bit of work on our hands as far as figuring out the best way to take our existing syllabus review process, so separate from just how we create them, but how we actually have them vetted by the appropriate curriculum committee or subcommittee chairs. We intend on keeping that system in place, but this will involve a different method, because right now we're doing it all via email, just sending attachments, hoping that the curriculum committee chair sees the attachment that's for review and gets back to us before a semester starts. And so to be quite honest, that part we haven't gotten to as far as how we will take our existing vetting process and implement it through Concourse. And Jamie, I don't know if you could speak a little bit to how other schools have done this using permissions, etc.
Are you talking about making changes to course templates to be pushed out to section syllabi?
Right. Let's say Shan has a critical update that at least according to Carrie standards, would be something that she would need to have approved by one of our subcommittee chairs before it can be used and put before students. Right now, the process would be that she would need to be in touch with the subcommittee chair via email, or she might send it to me, and I would then send the email to the curriculum committee chair. So that basically the approvals for when significant changes to course level syllabi, which are maintained by our course leads,
Mm-hmm.
How other schools have set that up in Concourse, or do they still do a lot of it outside of Concourse via email?
Well, a lot of them do it through email because change is difficult, right? For a lot of institutions that have these really ingrained processes. But some clients have actually started using the audit function within Concourse, and during their new course creation and course update process. And what they'll do is they will go into the, some of them will make a copy of a course template, or they'll go right into the course template itself, make some suggested changes before the template is actually cloned for instructors. And then they will submit the syllabus for approval, and then it will move up the chain to whomever is next in line that needs to review those changes and approve them. And then that's nice because there's a crumb trail, so to speak, of people who've been reviewing it and making comments and then ultimately approving it for use.
Thank you, Jamie.
Mm-hmm.
So that is basically one of our major mountains to climb before full implementation, is figuring out, it may be that when we first implement Concourse that we will stick to minimize just how many changes are happening at once. We may continue to do things via email for a period, but ultimately try to switch the system over so that it's completely within Concourse. Because again, one of the main goals of this is to streamline as much as possible. Does that answer your question, Shan?
Yeah, I understand. A lot of work, needs to be done before we push it out to the school level. So for this particular course, for example, the accounting financial reporting, I guess it will show us more how to add it right later.
Yes, that is actually our very next thing. So this is more just giving you background, showing you how our existing forms in Word line up with or align with the Concourse system. So to get to what you all actually want and need to see, so again, using Bonnie's course as our example, this is the standard syllabus here on my left screen, and here is the section-specific version, and I'll bring up the equivalent in Word. So now we have Bonnie's section-specific syllabi both on the left and right hand of my screen. And I think somebody's got some extra noise in the background, so if you could mute, please, that would be great. Excellent, thank you. So now on the left, you see that Bonnie's information is now filled in. We have her name and contact information. And all of this, by the way, I am doing for you. I'll show you in a moment how you will be able to edit this should you catch anything that I missed or that you decide to correct at some point mid-semester. But just again, for the side-by-side comparison, here's her course description, her objectives. If we start to scroll down to the areas that she would have needed to update on her own, let's go to the course policies. So on the left, you can see that there's the synchronous sessions. This is something that the section instructors, whether that's a course lead or anyone else, needs to update based on what they're doing for their particular section. So Bonnie has now updated this to say that she has 3 synchronous sessions. She's added the specific dates, etc. Down here, this used to be red bracketed text. We've added her email address. So how did I do this? What I did, to show you the actual editing feature, I'm going to make this full screen now, is when you are looking at a syllabus, um, there's the view, which is what we're doing right now, and then there's the editing tool. And so if Bonnie realized, oh gosh, I made a typo in my own phone number, she would go into her contact information, which I believe is here. And you'll see that for all the different items in a syllabus, we have these new windows pop open for each one. Some of them have very specific fields for you to enter. So this one has a specific field just for your phone number. Down here at the bottom, just to show it to you, this is not visible to the student. This is information that I've added because this is stuff that in my current system of using Word documents. These are the instructions for the faculty that are often in red text about, how to fill out the following section, how to list your office hours, etc. I'll be adding that sort of information in this comments box. So here, for example, if you were looking at this syllabus for the first time and it didn't have your section information yet, you might scroll down here and see that I specifically ask that at a minimum, I want faculty to provide their first name, last name, and email. This is because for a lot of these item entries that we have, there's information that we could add but is not actually required. For example, some faculty include their title, some don't. Some include an office address, some don't. So for this, it's really basically just following what you already do, putting your name and contact information. If you did want to put any additional notes, for example, if you had 2 phone numbers that you wanted to list, you could say, between the hours of 8 and 10 a.m., please use the cell number. You could add whatever notes you like here, and now it'd show up here. The instructions that I was just describing as being only faculty facing show up here as well. This will never appear to the student. So this is where, in some cases, however, there are areas that you shouldn't be touching, such as the course description. When there is a full implementation of Concourse, one of the things that we'll be able to do that will also make things much more streamlined is to set up what we would call feeds, where the things like course descriptions and prerequisites, this is one of the headings that we're going to be updating, so it says prerequisites, will feed directly from the Student Information System, formerly known as ISIS or SIS. And this is a really wonderful tool because then there are no surprises. I know that even with Yuval, just this past week, we discovered that the course description within the Student Information System was not the most recent version. And that was only caught kind of by accident because I was doing a comparison and I happened to notice that some of the wording was different. Doing it this way is great because faculty will see in their standard syllabi the course description as it appears in Student Information System. And if you see something there that's not up to date or accurate, or you're like, I could have sworn I sent an update to the registrar, why isn't it showing here? This is going to be a great way to catch those issues in a much more timely fashion than in the past, which has been, because right now it's possible for a syllabus, because it's just a discrete Word document, to contain a course description that's entirely different than what's in the Student Information System. Does that particular point make sense about the way that we can actually set this up to have feeds with our Student Information System?
Yes.
Great. Okay. That also eliminates the course description is a great example of the type of information that we would not want faculty at the section level to be editing. It really should be, quote, locked in. We wouldn't want a part-time faculty coming in for the first time, looking at the course description and being like, you know what, I don't use case studies or spreadsheets. I'm going to go ahead and edit this and put in a bunch of other stuff. I will tell you that when I'm reviewing section-specific syllabi for each semester, it is fairly common that faculty, both course leads and non-part-time, full-time, faculty do go in and make a handful of changes to things that technically should only be edited or updated by a course lead. So that is one of the things I'm very excited about, is the fact that we can basically limit permissions on a number of these items so that people cannot change them unless they've already gone through a specific permissions process. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Great. Okay, thank you. So, unfortunately, the syllabus that I have most complete for you all today is Bonnie, and she is Bonnie's statistical analysis syllabus, and she's the one who happens to be traveling right now. I think she's still in India. So this basically, though, is what you will see, and here, Jamie, correct me if I'm wrong. When, for example, in Xian's case, if you're in Blackboard, what we are working to set up as quickly as possible is a link within each of your course sites for your online courses to have this syllabus link so that it goes directly into Concourse. So if I were Xian, like I said, Catherine, have already put in all the information from your existing syllabus as it is in Word, but if there were things that you needed to change or tweak for whatever reason, you would click on the Edit button, and then let's say Xian goes, I don't want to use that phone number. I actually meant to put my cell phone number instead. She could go here and be like, oh, I'd rather use 555-5143 or something like that. And save it. How I'm editing this, you'll notice, is basically anything that is editable, if that's a word, you will notice has this yellow circle with a pen. This is what you would want to click on. What you don't want to click on is the red X. And perhaps, Jamie, you can talk a little bit about what happens if someone accidentally hits this X and deletes a section from their syllabus.
It goes away.
It goes away.
And all of the content.
Okay. So one thing that is nice about this, and Jamie, can before I do this, actually I can do it because this is just a sample. If you do accidentally hit the red X, you will get this question first. It'll say, deleting this item will permanently remove it and any of its children. By children, it's referring to any item entries that fall below this. So office hours is basically a subcategory of contact information. So it says, do you really want to delete it? And you can either go, whoops, I slipped on my mouse, I didn't mean to do that, or you can say, yes, indeed, I want to delete it, hit OK. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So it's a nice red X. I think that makes it pretty self-explanatory. When you do go in and start exploring within your own syllabus, like I found when I first started working in here, there are certain things that may take you a minute to figure out exactly how do I get to this section versus this section. And let me go into Bonnie's again, since this one's a bit cleaner. So let's say you're looking at your contact information. Here it says add contract entry. Let's say you accidentally click on that. You'll be like, wait, this isn't it. This is all blank. Don't worry, just hit cancel. You can go back out of it. Or if you're trying to get to office hours and you're confused, you click here and you're like, where are my office hours? You'll see that because there's these sub-items, sometimes you just have to go down a few times to find the right place where you want to edit it. For example, this one's blank. Keep going down. You'll basically, and this is things that, these sorts of details, I'm more than happy to sit down with any of you in person to kind of walk through exactly which button you need to click on to get to which item entry. There would be a few times where it wasn't always obvious to me, but now I've got it. I know exactly what corresponds to what. But because you can edit these items in very specific chunks, it's not like you can edit all of your contact information all at once. So this is where we have this phrase, office hours are by appointment. Looks good. I'm just going to hit cancel. So that is the basic information about how you edit within here. Does anyone have any questions about editing syllabi?
Nope.
Okay. set. Everyone else okay?
I have a somewhat related question. How do we actually get to these screens to begin with? So how do we get to Concourse or whatever software allows us to get in and do this?
Okay, so that is where, to you, Shan, thank you for your question, Yuval. So what we are working on today, and this will happen at different times for each of you depending on how far along your syllabus is. Bonnie's is pretty much all set to go, so I'll be working with Philippe Marcel, who has been a humongous help on the back end of this, because there is quite a bit of work that has to be done setting up the integration between Blackboard and Concourse. One thing that's I want to point out, and you've all get to your actual question in just a second, is that most of you know how to edit this. If you want to call this your syllabus or your section, so some of you might want to call this something other than just syllabus. But as you can see, there's a URL in here, there's a checkbox here, there's a bunch of information. Basically, all of this information here, with the exception of the actual title of what you want to call your syllabus, should remain as is. This is information that Philippe has set up on the back end for each of you. Right now, in all of your Blackboard course sites, this has already been done. What still needs to be finalized is your actual syllabus, which is what I'm working on within the Concourse tool. So right now, for the purposes of this training, I have a link to Xian's draft, but is basically, to go back to your question, Yuval, it will look just like this. You'll have the syllabus link here. You can edit the syllabus description. This is something that I think Philippe just put in as sample text, so you can delete that or edit it as you want. But it will be just like this. You'll click here, and it will take you right to your syllabus. And then you'll click Edit and go in and make sure everything looks okay. As I've been telling you all via email this week, I've been setting up all of your syllabi for you this first time around, down to the section level. So basically taking the Word documents you've submitted to me over the last month or so and inputting this information and making it look as close to your existing syllabus as possible with regard to formatting, etc. So before you make your course site public, I will notify each of you when your syllabus is actually linked within Blackboard, and then you will have the opportunity to go in, review what I've done, let me know if you have any questions, or, you know, I don't like how this looks, can we change it, or I wish that this was underneath a different heading, and we can work together to make those changes. I'll actually be making myself available all weekend, especially for those of you whose syllabi might be ready by the end of today. And of course, I know one or two of you, your actual courses, I think this might apply to Stacy, your course is still going through a QA process right now that is probably going to affect some of the content in the syllabus. So I'll be holding off on your syllabus probably till Monday or Tuesday. And then next week we can work on making any last tweaks that you may want to make. Or it may look perfect and you say, Catherine, it looks great. I'll say wonderful. And you can go ahead and make your course site available. Now, an important thing to mention, this is also how students will view it. They'll come in, you know, they'll click on the syllabus link. The key difference is, and Jamie, you can correct me here if I'm speaking out of turn, students will not see all these additional headings at the top, nor will they be able to do anything like edit. All students will have the ability to do is print this as a PDF. Okay?
That's correct. The only things that anyone will see in that menu up at the top are the things that they have permission to do.
Okay. Anyone have any questions about that? And Yuval, did I answer your question?
Yes, thank you very much.
Hi, Catherine. I have a quick question. So from students' view, when they click this open, when they click the link, it actually will bring them to Concourse website.
Yes, although it will be jhu.campusconcourse.
I see.
So not not completely generic.
I see. And then you said that they can save it as a PDF, and the instructions, it's it's straightforward, right? Because what we see now, it's not the student's view, it's instructor's view, right?
That is correct. Jamie, if I were a student right now, where would I click? Would it basically still be a button here, and I would click print? Or would it say print as PDF somewhere? I actually haven't viewed the student view myself yet.
So the student view is, the students are going to see basically what it looks like here. And if they want to print or they want to save it as a PDF, either way they will use print, and either print a hard copy or print to PDF or print to file. But the students will see just what you're seeing.
Yeah. Teaching online, sometimes we need to think about the smallest,
Yes.
technical glitches. So it'll be helpful if somehow we can, experiment or just take a view at the student's view of what they see exactly. So we can give them more heads up or tips or, yeah.
And what I might recommend is using this text here I could give you all standard language to say something like, click here to view the syllabus, to print as PDF, please navigate to this particular button in order to print. I can provide standard language like that. And I don't know, Jamie, you don't happen to have the ability to show us a student view from one of your sample courses, do you?
I know that in our training system, certainly you can see a student view, and that actually hides some particular items. But are you curious about what the student experience will be from Blackboard to, from getting into Blackboard and then opening the syllabus?
More just what it will look like once they've actually clicked on the link and they've gone to the concourse syllabus. So just seeing exactly what they'll see here at the top, and where whether they would use the exact same button here to print, or if they have a separate.
Nope, they would use that, except it wouldn't say edit or import.
It would just say print.
Yep. So it will probably say syllabus and maybe info, and that's it.
Okay.
Yeah,
but
I would say. I think we want to have just a list for once, take a look from the student's view, just to make sure that we know exactly the students will be looking at, so that this will improve their experience too.
That's a great point, Xian. And later today, I'll be meeting with Jamie and Philippe to finalize all the permissions, both for you all and to make sure that the student view is correct. So we'll make sure that we confirm that today.
Yeah,
that's a great point.
Yeah, thanks.
Sure. Does anyone else have any other questions? I know that this is not ideal for some of you because I don't have your syllabi ready for you to go in and jump in just now to look at. But like I said, I'm going to make myself as available as I can be between now and the start of your course on the 23rd to answer any questions you have, to visit you in your offices and look at things together. Basically, I'll be as available as I can be to help make sure that you know exactly how to use this. Hopefully, you won't need to make many changes. And hopefully I've done a good job of transferring your information into the concourse version. But please do any other questions, though, about what I have shown you today? If not, like I said, this has been recorded, and I will also be creating some Cary-specific guidelines. Jamie's been very generous in sharing with me some of the things that other schools use as far as just faculty guides and things like that, just so you have it on reference. for example, if you have a question in the middle of the night and I'm not available and you're trying to remember how to edit something, I will be providing you all with a guide that just covers some of the basics of how to access your syllabus and how to make the edits you need to make. So look out for an email about that soon. Right now, my main task is just finishing those syllabi that are already finalized. Like I said, I think the exception right now is Stacy's course, and Yuval, I think even with your course, there's a couple changes that still need to be made because we're removing the the rubrics from your syllabus. So other than that, though, Ning, yours should be ready quite soon, and Xian, most of your syllabus is also ready. It'll just be a matter of finalizing the permissions and getting your account set up with Concourse so that you can view your syllabus.
I know you were working on several courses rigorously. Do you have a agenda in mind, like when are likely that we will be able to set a course, course site available?
Yes, for as many of you as possible, I'm hoping by today, before I leave today. So that would be as you can see, Bonnie's is mostly done at this point. Xian and Ning, yours are looking very good to be ready today. Yuval is a good possibility. It might go till tomorrow, but I'm going to work as fast as I can to get that done today. I think Stacy's the only person that her course site may not go live until next Monday or Tuesday, depending on how the QA process goes.
Okay. Thanks for your hard work.
Thank you. I know that in an ideal world, a lot of this would also have been done earlier, but it has also been a big learning curve for me. So I really, really appreciate everyone's patience while your syllabi have been in progress. Now, Jamie, I don't know if there's anything else that you would like to add before we wrap this up. Maybe we could end a couple minutes early.
No, I think you did a great job. Great job.
Okay, great. And I know we have a couple of people from Teaching and Learning that are also on the call. If any of you, Charles or Robin, have questions for me, of course, feel free to follow up with me via email or phone afterward.
Thanks, Catherine. Hi, Catherine. This is Robin. Thanks very much for this great walkthrough. And I want to thank all of you online, the faculty online, who are participating in this pilot. I think it's going to be really important for the whole school to have this Concourse syllabus management system. So we're very excited about it, and thank you for being the leaders once again for an initiative that the school is doing.
Right, and I guess Robin brings up a great point that I meant to mention right from the get-go, which is that this being a pilot, I welcome any feedback that you all have or information that you receive from students. If they look at the new syllabus format and they really like it, or they are confused about it, or if you find that there are certain things that you wish you could look at differently, or that you want them to be formatted differently, please, by all means, be gathering information in your heads and sending it along whenever you have it. Because the point of all this is to see how we can make it work for our school. So your feedback will be very valuable. Okay? So thank you, everyone, for your time. I really, really appreciate it. And I hope that you all have a great rest of your day. I know it's a very busy time leading up to the first day of Spring 1 semester. And thank you, Jamie, for hosting this training from your own site, the GoToMeeting. I appreciate it. I hope everyone has a great weekend.
Thank you, Catherine.
All right.
Good job. Thanks a lot.